Hey, look, bro, I don't know who you giving your praise and honor to, who you worshiping, who you giving your glory and honor to, but you need to watch who you glorify, right? A lot of times, I don't think as people we realize how much time and energy we put into things that aren't God, right? We put so much praise into celebrities. We put praise into ourselves. We put praise into our friends and family, maybe for something they've done, maybe something they stand for, right? But at the same time, who gave us life? Who gave us opportunity? Who gave us blessings? Who gave us this amazing life? God did, right? Your boyfriend slash girlfriend ain't give you that life. Your mom probably got impregnated, but guess what? There's a lot of circumstances to where she wouldn't have been able to have you if everything wasn't successful and it wasn't a blessing, right? Let me tell you something, right? I've been reading Isaiah and in my spare time, and something I'm learning is, there's a lot of vision, right? So this is a vision from Isaiah, son of Amoz, right? It's all concerning Judah and Jerusalem. So there was a huge thing with Jerusalem, right? And I'm gonna actually pull up my notes because I've been reading a lot of it. And the big thing is that the Lord recognized that Israel doesn't know its master well, right? There's a lot of issues going on, right? God didn't want any more sacrifices from them. The Lord didn't want any more sacrifices, right? There was corrupted children that, rejected God. There was a lot of evil going on in Jerusalem, right? And Judah is the king, right? Judah is the king of Israel at this time. And because of his rule, he has led the people astray. And these are some visions I've been reading about, right? And so it says, I'm gonna start at chapter 2 because I've already read chapter 1. But in this one, I'm gonna start from verse 5, right? So it says, "Come, descendants of Jacob, let us walk in the light of the Lord. Let us walk in the light of the Lord, for the Lord has rejected his people, the descendants of Jacob, because they have filled their land with practices from the east. Therefore, these are not practices of God, and with sorcerers as the Philistines do. They have made alliances with pageants. Israel is full of silver and gold. There is no end to its treasures. Their land is full of war horses. There is no end to its chariots. Their land is full of idols. The people worship things they have made with their own hands. So now they will be humbled and all will be brought low. Do not forgive them. Crawl into caves in the rocks, hide in the dust from the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty. Human pride will be brought down and human arrogance will be humbled. Only the Lord will be exalted on that day of judgment." Humbled, the Lord will humble you, right? You think God will not humble you because of who you worship or because of the things you do, right? You got all these riches, you got all this money, all this fame, right? But people still get humbled at the end of the day. Something happens to them, whether they lose the money, right? Something happens to them in their lives where they realize that money is not everything, that fame is not everything. They realize who they're giving honor and glory to. That's not who they should be giving honor and glory to, right? It is a sin. It is a sin to praise idol gods, right? Look what it says in here. "Crawl into the caves and the rocks, hide in the dust from the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty." The terror. Because you're praising idols, right? The terror will rain down from the Lord. The Lord will show you who he is. Like, I know plenty of times where we have been in situations and the Lord has shown us who he is and what he represents and what he brings. Like, it may be good or bad, right? We may be sitting there watching a lesson or listening to a worship service, listening to a lesson, a message, and it sparks something in us, right? But also sometimes it defeats us and it makes us open our eyes and realize, like, dang, like, we're doing these things that aren't of God. We are going against God. We are worshiping people other than God. Like, that's actually a sickness. Like, giving people all the credit is actually a real life sickness. Praising these people as if they're God is a real life worldly sickness. And I'm learning, and I'm steadily realizing that every single day how much people, talk about other people rather than God, right? You'll hear celebrities' names over God a lot of the times. You'll hear people praising money over God. You'll see people See, sometimes people won't say it. They won't glorify it in their words. It is their actions. I'm telling you, people, they become easy to read when you read body language and actions. Discernment becomes way easier with God because he gives you spiritual wisdom. Then next thing you know, you'll know how a person is, who they praise, who they really believe is their quote unquote God, right? I'm gonna read. I'm gonna skip down to verse 18 because I want to finish off talking about. Actually, I'm gonna go to 17. It says, "Human pride will be humbled, and human arrogance will be brought down. Only the Lord will exalt it on that day of judgment." Verse 18. Idols will completely disappear. When the Lord rises to shake the earth, his enemies will crawl into holes in the ground. They will hide in caves in the rocks from the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty. On that day of judgment, they will abandon the gold and silver idols they made for themselves to worship. They will leave their gods to the rodents and bats while they crawl away into caverns and hide among the jagged rocks and the cliffs. They will try to escape the terror of the Lord and the glory of his majesty as he rises to shake the earth. Don't put your trust in mere humans. They are as frail as breath. What good are they? They are as frail as breath. You will be humble. You can't hide from the Lord's terror. He will humble you. See, this is the thing. This is what happens when you gotta read, bro. You gotta read. Like, when the Lord rises to shake the earth, his enemies will crawl into holes into the ground. They will be scared. They will be scared. Going against God, you will be scared. Like, look, they'll abandon the gold and silver idols they made for themselves to worship. Look at this. But this is the most important part. Don't put your trust in mere humans. Don't put your trust in mere humans, as they are as frail as breath. As breath. Like, I don't know. It says it straight up. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 22. I mean, it's telling you straight up. This is our issue. We're going to walk around, go out, meet these celebrities, right? We're going to go out of town. We're going to walk around. We're going to live life, right? And we're going to get in certain situations, and we're going to fall into temptation. And sometimes and those people who praise idols, they're going to look to them for guidance, right? Because in the back of their heads and in the front of their heads, like, that's who they're going to go to and ask for guidance. But then again, what is something we know about God? Is that he will humble us. He's loving unconditionally. But this is the thing, he's going to judge us. Judgment day is a thing, right? And he's going to judge you especially if you knew better. If you knew better and you knew who God was, and you still chose to worship idols, how do you think that would make God feel? What do you think God would do to you? He'll show you who he is. But ultimately, he gives us free will. So that means you have to choose who you're going to worship. If you know God has given you all these things, has blessed you, right? Why are you choosing an object? Why? See, and I was talking to one of my friends. So he believes there's a God. I was talking to this guy, and he believes there's a God. But he continues to worship drugs, money, corner parties, narcotics, his own girl, lust. See, sin becomes something we start to worship. Yes, we are sinners, but you don't have to stay in a sinful state. See, some people get in a sinful state and they'll stay there and they'll be stagnant. And then that's where you're going to have the biggest issues. That's where your life is going to start heading down a downfall, a downtrend, right? That's what happens when you don't put your faith first, and you don't, and when you neglect your faith, number one, then you'll be lost and you'll be falling astray, right? Number two, because of your lack of faith and because you don't have faith in God and you don't follow God, therefore you're going to follow the world. Then you're just going to be like everybody else. Because those same people who are following these celebrities are judging these celebrities. But see, they're not God. They don't have that authority, right? See, that's what social media, so I love social media, but social media has a lot of judgmental people, right? Who just see from the outside looking in. We have to realize, like, that's why we can't be on our phones all the time. We can't worship our phones. We can't worship content. We can't worship these objects, because these things can be broken easily. Yes, relationship with God can be broken, but that can be strengthened, fixed, and revived. Because God's going to give you love. God's going to give you the grace and mercy. But here's the thing. Time is wasting. The only reason you have an opportunity is because God has blessed you with that opportunity. Now, if he gives you an opportunity like he does now, just do it. Because he's going to humble you. But this is the thing. When he humbles you, what does it talk about in Proverbs? Right? He's like our parent. He's our parent. He's like our top parent. We have our physical parents. We have our top parent. Lean on him for understanding. He's going to correct us. He's going to humble us. So we have to learn and realize, like, look, we're going to make mistakes, right? And we're going to do things oftentimes that aren't of God. But we have to realize and recognize that for ourselves. When you're strong in the faith, it becomes just that easy. I hope you learned something in the video. I hope you share this video with a friend, family member, whatever the case may be. I love you. Thank you for watching as always. Subscribe to the channel as well. God bless.